You want LeBron?
Yeah, I'd like him. Be nice to have.
You willing to give up a unicorn for him?
For LeBron?
216-474-0092. I think it's going to come flat out to that. Are you willing to give up Evan Mobley to make sure LeBron comes here? Now, it's not just Evan Mobley for LeBron. It would be bringing in Jaylen Brown. I think that's where some of these tentacles are going. Brian Windhorst was on ESPN yesterday. Here's what Wendy had to say. Listen closely.
The league changed this afternoon with LeBron coming on the market, and not only that, but basically announcing that he's available to just about everybody. And so start your engines on how you're going to retrofit. That is a curveball that affected the whole market. So now let's talk about Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown has not found a home. The Celtics have not found a home. After they tried to send him to Milwaukee for Giannis Antetokounmpo over the last week, they have talked to a number of other teams. They have failed to get traction on a deal. Cleveland Cavaliers learned today that LeBron James will be willing to play for less than his market value salary. That changed everything. So how does Cleveland get LeBron James' attention? Do they show him their beautiful brand new practice facility they're building? It is awesome. I saw it this week in Cleveland. But that is not going to impress him. What's going to impress him is what they do something with their roster. What can the Cavs do? James Harden opted out yesterday. He is willing to partner with the Cavs to figure out a way how to improve the roster. Jaylen Brown is out there. Can the Cavs make a move for Jaylen Brown, then come to LeBron and say, how do you feel about us now? That's the type of move that you're going to do to get LeBron James' attention.
That's Wendy on that, and I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together. Now, putting 2 and 3 together here, yesterday we had Justin Termini on the show, and he had brought up how the market is lowered for Jaylen Brown. Now, he put that on Jaylen Brown's personality. That's what he blamed it on, which we had several listeners pipe in right after. They went, whoa, wait a minute. This guy is saying he doesn't want to be there anymore. If you have a guy openly saying he doesn't want to be there and doesn't want to play for the Celtics anymore, why do I have to pay full price? Shams Charania, ESPN, he said basically the same thing that the fans were saying yesterday here on The Fan.
We got to tell me what the fans were saying first, because I didn't hear.
They were saying that they were saying that it was, if he's saying,
yeah, you want to get him at a discount. Is that the premise here?
Here's Shams.
I can't find a team right now that is willing at this moment to give up that amount of draft capital. So then it just becomes, are Brad Stevens and that front office fine trading away Jaylen Brown for potentially less than that? Potentially, I had one GM said 40 cents on the dollar. Because that's what it's come down to in Boston. They just have not been able to find teams as of yet to get to that threshold.
We ain't got the picks. We got the player. Got Evan Mobley, 24 years old. He's young. You willing to do that to bring in Jaylen Brown and LeBron? Because it seems that LeBron wants the Cavs to make a move. James Harden is working with the Cavs here. This is all starting to click into place a little bit. I want to know from the fans, are they willing to make that move? To bring LeBron back, that shortens your window significantly.
Yeah, so we got to talk it out a little bit.
Let's talk it.
We got to talk it out a little bit. I'm really curious what fans think, what other media members think. I'm curious to think what the front office thinks about this, because all we've heard is Evan Mobley is untouchable, but you and I both know
you're untouchable until you're no longer untouchable.
And plus, there was a chance that they don't move him at all. And then do you want somebody salty that's been in the mix for a lot of trades? That's the Jaylen Brown situation with Boston.
And there might be, because I don't know what the tenure, what the feeling of the not tenure, good God, I don't know what the tenor of the fans is going to be about Evan Mobley. Like, we could get a bunch of people lining up going, bye, see you, we got to bring LeBron back. Or there could be a lot of people who are upset. But if the fans line up and say, okay, we'll get rid of Evan Mobley to bring in LeBron and Jaylen Brown, if that trade doesn't happen and the Cavs were to let out that they were really considering this, well, then you get the fans kind of against Evan Mobley, especially if he messes up. The fans are already not in a great mood about the Cavs, so then you kind of get the fans pulling against him because you're talking about bringing back the icon,
so you're not
the beloved figure. Like, there's a lot of ugliness that could happen. Yeah,
you certainly don't want to, create any kind of controversy.
We can talk about it all we want, but the Cavs can't.
So let's talk fit here, right? And the thing is, Jaylen Brown is a better basketball player, better two-way player. In a league right now where being a two-way player is everything. Having guys on the perimeter that can hit tough shots if they need to in the highest of leverage situations. Well, we've seen that. We're talking about with Jaylen Brown, an MVP of the NBA Finals. That's a pretty big deal. And he showed this year he could put a team on his back in the regular season. You don't necessarily want him having to do all that in the playoffs because he's not a top 5 player. But he is somebody this year I thought was a top 10 player in the league. And so you'd be getting better immediately in terms of talent. But it also creates a hole defensively. They already weren't a great team defensively last year. On the interior, you get better defensively on the wing. And sure, if you have LeBron can guard power forwards.
I think keep Jared Allen in this scenario.
in this scenario, yes. So, but the fit is the question. I saw people saying, well, you're bringing another ball stopper in. But is the fit good with Evan Mobley right now? Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, I don't think can play together. I don't think in the playoffs, I think it's kind of been proven that there's a ceiling there to how those guys play together. That having two guys who are considered big men, neither 7-footers, by the way, that can't really shoot and not a ton of playmaking, that's a clunky fit too. So as we're talking these things out, you're trying to just figure out, is this a better alternative than run? Nobody seems to want to run it back, right? I know you've lost Dean Wade and you've lost Keon Ellis. I don't think you're factoring that in big time.
No, not really.
But it seems like when we talk to Cavs fans, they don't really want to run it back. So is this a better version? Does this get them closer to a championship? And it's hard for me to say it gets them closer to a championship. But at the same time, we kind of feel like the team as is dead on arrival. So what do you do with that information? How do you compute that? What do you do if you're Kobe Altman? Is there another move that you have after that? Is it just do the LeBron thing, trade Evan Mobley, and so you're closing your window even further, clearly, but you didn't care about that when you made the Darius Garland move for James Harden. You weren't worried about, keeping that window open for a long. And by the way, the window's all shut way sooner than you think they are.
Yeah.
So as I'm talking it out, does it seem more appealing to you? Obviously, you get LeBron.
Is my goal now to win a championship, or is it to keep the window open? I know everybody would like to do both. I think you're going to have to make a decision here.
Yeah, and I keep coming back to, I don't know that keeping the window open is all that viable.
All right,
for
so
plenty of reasons.
Who replaces Dean Wade? Is it Jonathan Kuminga?
No, I don't think if you do these moves, I don't think you can afford.
Okay, so you
Jonathan
can't afford.
Kuminga.
So who on the current Cavs?
So-
Because I'm thinking of it going Donovan, Jaylen Brown, LeBron. Good God, you get a starting 5 with those 3 there. That's going to sound really good to everybody. Donovan, Jaylen Brown, LeBron James, Jared Allen. Who am I missing? Who steps into that starting 5?
Well, in this case, you still have Max Strus.
Okay.
Depending on how you want to play it, because remember, Mobley is gone. So Mobley was somebody who made up for a lot of the defensive mistakes. That's gone now. So look, there's no perfect scenario. I think that's what I'm trying to get people to understand.
No, there isn't.
And none of you seem to want to run it back.
Nobody.
So, I think a lot of the teams in the NBA right now are thinking about how to tinker with their roster, even if it doesn't guarantee that they get better. That's what the T-Wolves did. The T-Wolves made those moves and went and got LaMelo Ball. Can I poke a lot of holes in that team building? Sure, but they were stuck. They weren't going to win. Are the Cavs stuck right now with Evan Mobley?
I thought about this all night, and I think they are. And I think that I knew that if it were straight up Jaylen Brown for Evan Mobley, and that was it, I had very strong reservations about that, and I didn't really let you talk me into it. If it comes down to LeBron, so I'm going to expect LeBron to do a lot of things. LeBron has made a lot of people in his career fit in to the system. I know that's an overused term, but he's made a lot of guys who, like J.R. Smith to the New York Knicks before he got here, was cantankerous and goofy, and a lot of Knicks fans didn't like him. They love him now, but a lot of Knicks fans didn't like him at that time. And a lot of Knicks fans at that time, and you can maybe they'll deny it, but I know for a fact they were sitting good riddance to bad rubbish. And J.R. Smith is just about beloved here. And I love J.R. Smith. Everybody does. So I put Donovan, LeBron on that team. And then Jaylen Brown, who, according to Termini and a couple others, boy, he's angry. He can be,
You're getting a motivated guy.
Moody, but he is motivated. And so if LeBron's there, you know what this all is about. This is for a championship. It's not just for a championship for LeBron. It's a championship for Donovan, a championship for Jaylen Brown. This is to legitimize everything and to go through the East. I think I'd be willing to make this move, even though I got to figure out who the fifth guy on the floor is going to be, and I know I'm giving up offense or giving up defense. Yes, I'm willing to make this move.
Here's what I like: Harden now slips down to like your fourth best player.
Yeah.
Last year in the playoffs,
Oh my God, I left James Harden out of this mix.
He led the team in minutes.
Oh my God!
So that shows you how much they had to rely on someone who's 36 years old, and he was a roller coaster. Right? You don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals without him. He also, in his high usage, he cost you games. So now
I'm willing to make the move.
Now if he's down to your fourth option, I think you're in a much, much better spot.
Well, are you willing to make the move? I am. I'm willing to do it.
I think you can hear it in my voice. Like it's not an all-in, no-brainer, but I think you do it.
Donovan,
I do think you do it.
Jaylen Brown, LeBron, Jared Allen, James Harden.
Let's get the bonus of LeBron's last season in Cleveland.
Well,
I don't think people understand the price you can put on that.
I wonder if it's 2 years in
or
Cleveland.
2. I don't know.
Because his other son is at Arizona this year, right? Yeah. Do you do a retirement tour in 27, 28, and you bring in his other son? Do you have another second-round pick in the 2027 draft?
Well, they're going to ask you have another son who can come up and play. I don't know. You'd have to.
I'll take if it's a sweetener, fine. Bring in, it's Bryce, right? The young one. Bring in Bryce. Go right on ahead and do that next year if you want to. I'll have 2 years of LeBron then. Yeah, I think I'll make this move. 216-474-0092. It's tough to move on from a guy like Evan Mobley. I wasn't willing to do it just 1-for-1 with Jaylen Brown. It does scare me about some of the things.
Is he ever going to be better than Jaylen Brown?
I don't think he is. So why am I chasing literally a unicorn in so many ways when we talk about it? I'm chasing a unicorn when I got something here that can compete right now. This is going to give me the best chance possible. This is a better chance to win a championship than anything I've had. And what I've had has been good. That's a 64-win team 2 years ago, 52-win team this last year. That's a really good basketball team. This team beats that team. This team can beat the New York Knicks and get to the NBA Finals. I will make this move. Well, the Cavs need to make some moves here because even if it's not LeBron, a lot of people believe you got passed up over the evening where the Kawhi Leonard trade is that's consummated, correct? Kawhi Leonard's headed to the Toronto Raptors. So right now, off the tippy top of your head, Tone, where do you see the Cavs in the Eastern Conference?
Yeah, as of
where do they rank?
As of today, obviously, Knicks are number 1. And then I'm telling you, it is a free-for-all after that. Look, Detroit hasn't made their move or moves yet. Indiana, stuff is kind of percolating behind the scenes there with the Pacers. But, you can't forget about them at all. We know what a nightmare they were to go up against. And their team is, kind of transforming. But Halliburton will be back healthy. They were snake-bitten this last year with the injuries. Boston, something's got to be done, right? Like, it's hard to believe now that Jaylen Brown is going to be able to coexist. I know Bill Simmons said all they have to do is sit down. You know what? I said that about Kyrie and LeBron, and people from within the Cavs front office, they were like, good luck with that. Like, once it's over, it's over. It just is. So I think they're getting broken up, and then it will vastly depend, but they'll be a totally new-look Celtics team if that's the case, and Jaylen Brown gets traded. So I can't pencil them in the way I have. And even when they have had those guys, they have fallen short the last few years. Toronto, I am seeing people say this definitely means Toronto is ahead of the Cavs, but I've seen some others kind of put them on equal playing field. I will say for now, they are ahead of the Cavs. But the Cavs haven't made their moves yet. If you're telling me we get LeBron and Jaylen Brown and there's a whole new look to this, I think I might say the Cavs are ahead. But it's close. It's close. Kawhi just had an unbelievable year. He played like a top 5 player through most of his year.
I just have a blind spot, as a wise man once told us, for Clipper basketball. Like, if I'm watching West Coast basketball, I'm watching Golden State. I'm watching Portland. I'm watching the Lakers. The Clippers do not compute. The Kings do not compute to me. The Suns
you didn't watch a lot of Kawhi last year.
No, I honestly, I haven't since how long has he been with the Clippers? A few years. Yeah. I haven't watched Kawhi in a very long time. So you're telling me this is kind of news. It was the same thing with James Harden. I knew James Harden was good just by box score checking. I really didn't check on Kawhi a whole lot because I just assumed he wasn't really playing, and then we saw the carbon offset stuff and all the other crazy stuff that was going on. I didn't really know. Their team was just not on my product ladder. So when I first saw that people were saying that the Raptors were better than us, my first thought was to roll my eyes. And then I thought, well, let's just see this out. Because
you went to 7 games with them last year, and that was without Kawhi.
And I can't fully, and that's exactly why I can't fully judge something I haven't seen. So I didn't want to go shoot off my mouth until I really knew. And I knew what you were going to tell me because I did not know what I was seeing or not seeing at that time. So I would put the Knicks are number one because they won the championship. That's what they deserve. What'd you just say about Detroit?
They haven't made their moves yet. Their move or moves. But, the Durant thing is very interesting because he's talking to the Lakers. What would they want in return if there's a sign and trade? There was some Kyrie buzz
Knicks,
about a few weeks ago.
Raptors. Are Celtics still ahead of the Cavs? Did you just say that?
I said that we don't know.
If we get Jaylen Brown and LeBron, well, that's an if. I'm talking about right now. So right now, as of this morning at 8:07, I think you are the fourth best team in the East. Celtics, Knicks, Celtics, Raptors, us.
And you didn't say anything about the Pacers.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's
Tyrese
tough.
Halliburton.
But it's tough.
They lost a couple other pieces, too. I'm still going to put us fourth. Detroit's got a good young basketball team, but we're talking about the right now, and right now Jalen Duren is talking to the LA Lakers, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put us fourth. And that is not going to make anybody happy. Now, I don't want to be desperate. It is a desperate move. There's no way around it. So I got to do what I got to do. If I'm being told about LeBron coming back and the possibilities of him coming back, and Wendy saying there's moves to be made, that James Harden is working with the Cavs and possibly LeBron to redo his contract, to make room for LeBron, to possibly make a trade. Like, Evan Mobley has been a third-rail, untouchable person for a long time until this offseason. And if I got to speed up the clock, I got to speed up the clock. LeBron and Jaylen Brown, that changes things. LeBron, Harden, Jaylen Brown, Donovan Mitchell. Jared Allen, that is a great starting five. Now, by name, it's a great starting five, and I know the team is very, very, very old. I'm not concerned about 28, 29. I'm concerned about 26, 27, and maybe 27, 28. I'd like 2 years from LeBron. This year is a season, and then a retirement tour next year. Of course, I'm asking that out of a 43-year-old man. And every time he steps on the floor, not trying to wish this into existence or talk this anything, I know I'm scaring some folks, but the older you get, and he's not had a serious injury, every time he steps on the floor, there could be a possibility the older he gets. And once he has a big one, that's it. It's not that he's 26 anymore. We saw it with Kobe. Once he had the Achilles injury, that was basically it for the career. He's older than Kobe was. He's got a lot of miles on him. If something bad happens, something bad happens. But you know what? Wouldn't you rather swing for the fences and go ahead and do that now than any of the other stuff? I think you would.
And, the hard part is, like, if you're telling me, hey, this isn't a great fit, why are we abandoning the hopes and dreams of a unicorn Evan Mobley? You have to tell me what you think Mobley is truly capable of and the likelihood he gets there. I'm not really hearing that from a lot of people. People are just telling me, you can't move Evan Mobley. Whatever you do, they're in love with Evan Mobley. You can't abandon this early. All right, tell me what you think he ends up being.
You're in love with Evan Mobley until you get a chance to get something better.
I want to hear what people think. Will he ever become better than Jaylen Brown? I do not think he will.
No, I don't either. And because I don't either, and I know Jaylen Brown's cantankerous, and Justin Termini warned us about that. If you're getting LeBron and Donovan Mitchell's obviously still going to be on the team, you have a personal friend of his. You have LeBron, who has got people to fall in line before. In his own way, and we've been critical of him at times, LeBron has got people to fall in line before. I think it could be a successful bunch. I think it can. I think it could be more successful than what we already have. However, there is the legacy question, LeBron, and I know we will have Joe Varden coming up here momentarily. This is very interesting. Dave McMenamin, ESPN, he had this to say about LeBron. He thinks he should come home.
Of all the places in the world where he could come to the conclusion that he was going to be leaving the Lakers and telling the Lakers he was going to be leaving, it just so happens to be Akron, Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio. And I'm not going to say that's all of the clues right there, but we have to read the tea leaves here. I know that several members of LeBron's kind of inner circle are going to meet him in Ohio this week. And I'm sure they continue have a discussion about what the decision will be. But it could be the best situation right down the road from where he grew up, 45 minutes from Akron, with the Cavs for a third stint. And really, I've followed this guy now for 12 years around the country. I've seen different fan bases, different arenas. The only place that accepts him, embraces him, celebrates him for everything that he is Cleveland, Ohio.
Before I play the Pluto, do you think Dave's actually wishing a little bit? Think about it for a second. He's a married man now.
Yeah.
He's lived in Cleveland. Now, I don't think he's going to take a pay cut to come back to Cleveland to cover LeBron. He knows damn well his salary is going to go a hell of a lot further in Cleveland, Ohio than it will in San Francisco, California. That's just a good businessman right there in Dave McMenamin. So if Dave could go on TV and continue to promote that, I would enjoy that. Because he's lived in Cleveland. He enjoyed his time here in Cleveland. You guys back in the single days had some nights out here in Cleveland.
Yeah,
if I don't mean to speak out of turn here.
Yeah, he's losing a drinking friend.
Well, wait a minute. Whoa,
I won't be available this time around.
You can don't say that. I mean, your kids are getting a little bit older.
Am I going to get some more time? Are you telling me?
Now, that's all up to the missus.
Freed from the shackles of these two toddlers?
That's all up to her. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say all that. Maybe you aren't going to get more time. But you know what? He can find other people.
Dave
John's here. He can go drink it with John.
I will say Dave was quick to respond to any of my texts until yesterday.
Uh-oh.
So I don't know what that means.
Terry Pluto brought up a different side of this, though. From the Cleveland Plain Dealer, Terry Pluto was on Baskin and Phelps. He actually disagrees with Dave McMenamin.
If LeBron were to come back to Cleveland, let me throw this out. You guys should ponder this. Mm-hmm. All he can do is ruin his legacy, unless he happens to win another title here, which is difficult. But right now, he is viewed as, the preeminent, not only of the best player that they ever had here, but making the greatest accomplishment in NBA playoff history, winning coming back from 3-1. As you mentioned, that team is always revered. He'll always be revered. You come back here at the age of 41, you're playing next to 37-year-old James Harden and trying to kind of make this work. If I were him, I think I'd rather go to Golden State and try it with those guys.
I have a mountain of respect for Terry Pluto. I don't think he can ruin his legacy, though. If he comes back, I don't think it ruins any of the memory of 2016. I can't see a scenario where he shows his ass and kills any of the good nature that he has with the fans.
Yeah.
The goodwill that he has with the fans.
How would he ruin his legacy? One final year.
I think it's a bit strong.
The fans actually get a chance to see him, and it's not going to be outrageous. Like if it was, we talked about if it was Golden State, one game in Cleveland.
Well, when this
the most expensive ticket in years.
When this was being brought up, not just when it first got brought up, but over time this year, like any time LeBron get brought up, people would jump in and say, you don't want the drama back. And I'm thinking, there's not much drama anymore. I used to be one of those guys a few years ago when he was a free agent, like, drama, don't need it. We got this good young basketball team. Now we've been in it for the last couple of years, and I think we're hitting a pretty big concrete ceiling above us, and we're trying to break through up there. LeBron at 41, there's always going to be drama around the guy. He's making videos on Instagram about coming home, all that stuff. There is always going to be a little bit of drama, a little bit of intrigue. I don't think it's anywhere near the same as it was before. You come back home. My concern was he might not be ready to face retirement. That's part of the reason I say 2 years with LeBron. He might not be ready to do it, and it may be feeling like a move to just end the career. But I don't think that it's going to be nearly as dramatic as what it has been in the past because there is no tomorrow. If he comes home, this is it. This is it. There's no, oh, my God, what's he going to do in 2029? No, that's it. There's no holding on to him. This is where it ends. So I don't have to worry about all the other crazy dramatic stuff that's happened in the past. And I don't think that would have an effect. 2016 is a very special time for everybody. And it holds a very strong place. And anybody who cares about the Cavs, it holds a very strong place in anybody's heart. I cannot see that changing. I can't see him allowing that to change. I think that if he does come back, I think he thinks about that moment and what he does to preserve that moment while trying to win a championship with his current Cavs team.